Welcome to another episode of Ask Alex, where this is the weekly show where I answer all of your Twitter questions, email questions, Instagram questions, all different types of questions. I'm your host, Alex Sampson, and today we're just going to dive into the questions that I got over the weekend. So let's dive into the first question, coming from Michael Johnson, and he writes, "Hey Alex, I love your film Static Shock Uprising." Well, thank you, Michael. I really do appreciate it. I'm glad that you enjoy the film. Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen the short film Static Shock Uprising, it's on my YouTube channel right now. But let me get back to the question. I was wondering, what are your thoughts on Iron Fist and Luke Cage being canceled by Netflix? So I never really addressed this issue when it first came out. I was actually waiting to see if any other news popped up surrounding this particular subject, but I think it's pretty clear that I don't think we'll ever see Mike Coulter reprise his role as Luke Cage, or the actor who played Iron Fist reprise his role as Iron Fist, because I've seen an Instagram post from Mike Coulter stating that he had fun serving as the role of Luke Cage. He's moving on to bigger and better things. And he's still a fan. He still loves Marvel. He would still come back if asked, but I think he's done playing the role. But my thoughts on it are just simple. Like, I could understand Iron Fist being canceled because the first season didn't do too well. I did enjoy the second season of Iron Fist. Iron Fist season 2 was a whole lot better than season 1. There are still some inconsistencies in that particular show, but I could see why Iron Fist was being canceled. Luke Cage was a black superhero phenomenon on Netflix. Season 1 was amazing. Cottonmouth, even though he was a villain, like, that was my dude. Like, he was my favorite character in the whole show. When he died, I was kind of like, dang. Season 2 was good. I think season 1 was better. I think season 2 did drop the ball a little bit, especially exploring the Jamaican element of Harlem. I think that was cool to a degree, but at some point it just kind of got redundant. But the reason why I think they both got canceled is because Disney is launching their new streaming service, but I think that they have other plans for those particular characters, probably for their streaming service. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to the actors who played those roles are going to reprise their roles. Maybe they're going to start a new show called Heroes for Hire. I don't know. But what I will say is that these shows were canceled by Netflix, not by Disney. So I'm not sure what went into that. Maybe both shows had low ratings. I read a report earlier, like a couple weeks ago, that according to the ratings of Iron Fist and Luke Cage, those were the lowest rated shows out of all of the Marvel Netflix shows. So Daredevil did better, Punisher did better, and Jessica Jones did better. So honestly, I would love to see Luke Cage come back. Iron Fist, I would love to see Iron Fist maybe featured in Luke Cage instead of him having his own show. But overall, I do want Luke Cage back, but I guess that's the best way I can answer what I feel about that. I did kind of see Iron Fist being canceled, but not so much Luke Cage, because Luke Cage was a dope show from both seasons. But thank you for your question, Michael. I'm going on to the next question now, which comes from a Brittany Thompson, which she writes, "Hey Alex, do you think Tiffany Haddish is overrated? I think she's fun. She was funny in Girls Trip, but everything else after that, like Night School, Nobody's Fool, etc., she wasn't that funny. What are your thoughts?" Well, thank you for your question, Brittany. I'm sorry, but I disagree with you. Tiffany Haddish is amazing. She's hilarious. I haven't seen Nobody's Fool yet, so I can't comment on that, but I will say that she was hilarious in Night School. She's hilarious in her comedy specials that she has on Showtime. She has 2 specials on Showtime which are funny. She also was amazing in Girls Trip. And if you see her do stand-up, and if you see her do certain TV, like she's on this TV show with Tracy Morgan, I forget, called The Last OG. She's amazing in that show. So Tiffany Haddish is an icon. I support Tiffany. Like she's She's amazing. Keep doing what you're doing, Tiffany. If you ever see this video, keep doing what you're doing. You are an amazing comedian. I don't think you're overrated at all. I think you are hilarious. I would pay money to go see you do stand-up because I think you're that funny. So I think Tiffany Haddish is amazing. But thank you for your question, Brittany. I really do appreciate your honesty. Question number 3 comes from the next question, Mr. Martin Camps, if I'm saying that right. I hope I'm saying your name right, Martin. But your question writes, "Hey Alex, how has Stanley's legacy affected your life?" If you guys don't know, Stan Lee recently passed away, and Stan Lee, let me just say this. Stan Lee has been a pivotal person in my life. I've never met Stan Lee, but like the character Spider-Man, I could relate to him so much, especially Peter Parker, because growing up, I was not a social person. I was considered as a nerd. I was into computers. I was into comic books. I was into like things that normal boys weren't supposed to be interested in, or at least people who were not interested in sports or whatever. And I gotta say, Stan Lee affected my life tremendously. I think if it weren't for Stan Lee, there wouldn't be shows like this, Ask Alex. There wouldn't be shows like Hero TV. There wouldn't be shows that YouTube probably wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for somebody like Stan Lee. When I look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe and what they've done in comic books, and comic book movies, I'm sorry, Stan Lee has affected me a lot. I think if it wasn't for Stan Lee, I'd probably be doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing. And I thank him for the legacy that he has left. Stan Lee, you rest in heaven. I pray for all your family and all of your loved ones. But thank you for your question, Martin. And now I'm getting to the last and final question coming from a Mr. Freddie Brooks. And Mr. Freddie Brooks writes, "Why is it important to have black superheroes included in film or TV?" Okay, well, thank you for your question, Freddie. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet because I'm running low on time here. But to answer your question, it's very important that we have more diversity and more minorities and superheroes in superhero movies and TV and etc. Keep in mind, when comic books were created, when they were first created, black people, Asian people, and even Hispanic people were not considered when they were making superheroes. Now, granted, the first black comic book character that ever came out was Black Panther. Black Panther basically set the trend and the tone for what black superheroes were supposed to be like. That's why we now have comic book shops like the Milestone Comic Book Universe. We have things going on in DC. We have a whole bunch of diversity in Marvel. So there's other black superheroes. But keep in mind, there are more white superheroes than there are minority superheroes. Like if you look at the CW right now, there's only one black superhero show called Black Lightning, right? But when you look at Arrow, you still have black characters like Mr. Terrific and Diggle. And you have a Hispanic character on there, Wild Dog, right? But when you also, even with Supergirl has Jimmy Olsen as the Guardian. And when you look at The Flash, you have the Vibe character, I believe he's Hispanic. So like, there's diversity in these shows, but if we're being honest, when you look at Black Lightning is a heavily diverse show compared to all the other shows. Not to say it's better than all the other shows, and not to say it's a better representation, but keep in mind, it's a black person who is the center of the show. We don't have that in TVs or film. Besides Blade and Black Panther, what other black superhero movies have been made? Not that many. Not that many at all. Actually, I can't think of any other black superheroes. When you look on YouTube right now, I can tell you right now, as a film director, I've directed 3 superhero short films, 2 Static Shock movies, and a Miles Morales movie, which are all superheroes of color. So you have to, when you look on YouTube, there's other short films and other things of that nature that are directed, that are created by other YouTubers that are feature other superheroes of color. So it's very important that we have that representation. It's very important that, because people want to see themselves be represented. You know, we don't want to go to an Avengers movie and always see one representation of a hero. We want to see multiple representations. So that's my answer to that question. Thank you for your question, Mr. Freddie Brooks. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Ask Alex. If you want your questions on here, all you got to do is send me an email at static145910@gmail.com. If you want to tweet me at Mr. Alex Hampton. If you want to leave a comment under my Instagram, my Instagram handle is Mr. Alex Hampton at Instagram. Thank you guys for watching this video, and you guys have a blessed day. Thank you for watching this video. If you're not a subscriber to Brand New Productions, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube page by clicking this button right here. And also, if you want to see all the different content that I'm putting out, go ahead and click on this video up here or this video down here, where you get to see all the different content I'll be coming out with, whether it's short films, movie reviews, or any other thing that I'm doing on this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. You guys have a great day.